Hello, 7th graders. This is Lesson 8, Session 2, which starts on page 153 in your books. And today we are adding positive and negative integers, which is actually very similar to what we did last week, isn't it? Except last week, your positive and negative integers were little numbers, like positive 3 plus negative 7. So little numbers less than 10, or within the range of 10. Today we're doing bigger ones, such as positive 32 and negative 38. So we're just doing larger integers. And as a reminder, what an integer is, it's just a whole number that could be positive or negative. So for example, we'd have negative 3, positive 63, negative 163. Any number that's positive or negative, that's a whole number. So we don't have any decimals today. We don't have any fractions today. So let's look at our try it problem. It says, normally the freezing point of water is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. A city treats the streets before a snowstorm. On the treated streets, the freezing point for water is changed by negative 38 degrees Fahrenheit. So it goes that freezing point goes down by 38 degrees Fahrenheit. What they treated it with, I don't know. We live in Southern California. I don't know anything about snow or freezing or cold. What is the new freezing point for the water on these treated streets? So you could use a number line for this. You can draw a number line all the way from, I don't know, negative 10 to positive 32 and go back, you know, and go back by 38. You can totally do that. You can do the positive integer chips. Oops, I'm going to use my highlighter. The positive integer chips and negative integer chips, and then cancel out the zero pairs. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of a lot of integer chips, but I think that's what I'm going to do. You're going to have to sit here and watch me make all these dots. If you think you can do this without me, you can fast forward, but this is what I'm going to try. So let's see. I'm going to try to keep these lined up. 1, 2, whoops, see, I'm already, maybe I should zoom in a little bit. That'll help. That'll help me keep it tidy. Okay. So we need 32 positives, because that's where we're starting at, 32 degrees. And I've already got the wrong tool. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay. That's kind of a pain. This is not super efficient. Okay, I need 38 negatives because we're going down by 38. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Okay. And as you know, when you have a positive 1 and a negative 1, that equals 0. So that's called a neutral pair or a zero pair. So all of these cancel out to 0. All of these. And we're just going to see what's left. Okay, so what's left? The new freezing point for the water on the treated streets. We have 6 negatives. Fahrenheit. Don't forget the degrees Fahrenheit, because they gave us the degrees Fahrenheit, and you should put your units if they're given. Okay, that was a lot of dots. I don't think I want to do that every time. And what if the numbers are bigger than in the 30s? Wouldn't that be awful? We should probably figure out a new method. Oh look, they used the number line on that one. On that modelet. What did they do on this one? Oh, they did... What did they do? For our second modelet, they've done something a little bit fancy here. They've taken the positive 32 and they've taken the negative 38 and they decomposed or broke apart that negative 38 in order to create a set of zero pairs. So they took that negative 38 and they split it with, this is addition, subtraction, not a factor tree, if you remember factor trees. So 38, they split it into negative 32. And then what's left? Negative 6. Negative 6 and negative 32 make 38. So So if you take that and flop it right there, it makes a 32 zero pairs with that. So that's clever. I like that. And then more cold. Blue cold. Okay. Number 1 says, look at the first model. What is the new freezing point? And we determined it was -6 degrees Fahrenheit. How does the number line show the new freezing point? Da, 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 da. Okay, how does it show it? Well, you first have oh, look at that. Instead of going 38 in one go, they went from 32 to 0, and then they went 6 more. Interesting choice. Now how do we phrase this? Let's see. I'm going to put the arrow starts at 32 and goes 38 points to the left, because remember we're going left is always getting smaller. At the left, where it lands at -6. So -6 is the new freezing point. And I'm not putting -6 degrees Fahrenheit because I don't know how to type the degrees symbol. So guess you're off the hook. How do both modulets use 0 pairs? Okay, well, if you look right here, how they did it with the -32 first. So they've gotten, all this is basically 0 pair. And then this is what's left over. And then the second modulet, remember they had decomposed the -38 to cancel out the +32 to create a whole set of 0 pairs, and then -6 is left over. But we can't write all that down, so what are we actually going to write down in this spot? Let's see. The arrow on the number line that goes, is number line 2 words? Yes, it is. The arrow on the number line that goes from 32 to 0 shows a 0 pair. And, I'll make that a new sentence. The second modulet decomposes the -38 into -32, -13, for goodness sakes, plus -6, so that the -32 makes a 0 pair with 32. There we go. And you know what? I like that answer better than the one in the book, so I get a gold star. Okay, number 3. Explain how you can find 38 plus -32. Well, how did we find it? Oh wait, this is the opposite, isn't it? Oh, goodness sakes. This is just 38 minus 32. So you could just do 38 minus 32 is 6, but it wants us to explain. I know what it wants us to do. It wants us to put what's in the teacher guide. The teacher guide says you can decompose. Actually, it doesn't say decompose, but I like the word. You can decompose the 38 into 32 plus 6 so that the 32 makes a 0 pair with the -32, and then there's just the +6 left over. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to start getting a little bit into, we're going to start talking about absolute values a little bit. Not so much in those terms, but number 4, without actually finding the sum, how do we know that -32 plus -38 is going to have a negative sum? If you owe somebody $32 and you owe somebody else $38, are you ever going to have positive dollars? No, you need to stop borrowing money. That's too much money. Both addends. Remember, the terms in an addition problem are called the addends, and the answer is called the sum. Both addends are negative. So the sum will be negative. Okay. Number 5, the sum of two integers can be positive, negative, or 0. Why? Because you can put, when you put numbers together, you could get other numbers. You think they'll accept that answer? I somehow doubt that. So let's see. This is going to be a long one. When you add two positive integers, the sum will be greater than either addend. You know, because when you do 3 plus 4, you're going to get a bigger number at the end, 7. So the sum is positive. When you add a negative integer to any other integer, the sum will be less than the other integer. So it could be positive or negative. It depends on which integer has the bigger number. Is it the negative one? Or is it the positive one? For example, positive 3 and negative 4. The 4 is a larger number, so it would be a negative sum. And if the two addends are exact opposites, the sum is 0. So I'm going to give you examples of each of those, just super fast down here. Here's an example for the first one. Like I said, 3 plus 4 equals 7. The addends are both positive, so the sum is a larger positive. For the second one, when you add a negative integer to any other integer, so I'm going to say 3 plus negative 4. 4 is the bigger number, so you're going to end, and the difference between 3 and 4 is 1. But the 4 is bigger, so it's going to end up being negative. It's going to end up having the same sign as the 4. And then, for the third scenario, if you have 3 plus negative 3, so 3 and negative 3 are opposites, there you go, that's 0. So there's your examples. And then number 6 is for you to do. I want you to reflect on all of the models and strategies and all the things that we said and did, and describe how one of them helped you better understand adding negative integers. So pause, answer that, and we'll practice. Okay, you paused, you answered it. What is that? A dragonfish. That is a nightmare. Let's just change it to Mickey Mouse. Beautiful, much better. Actually, I kind of like it. I'm going to let it stay. Okay. A dragonfish is swimming, big numbers, at negative 900 meters relative to sea level. Then it rises, it's coming for us, it's coming to get us. It rises 250 meters. What is the dragonfish's new depth relative to sea level? Show your work. So I'm going to use the second strategy. I'm not making a number line that big. I'm going to use the second strategy here, and I'm going to take this negative 900, and I'm going to decompose it into negative 250 to make 0 pairs. And then what's left? 650 negatives? That's what's left. So the dragonfish's new depth is at negative 650 meters. Don't let it come any closer to me. Okay. What is 79 minus or plus negative 26? Okay, 79. I guess you could cheat and just do 79 minus 26 if you want to be that way, but we are 7th graders now, so I'm actually going to show you a slightly different method, and that is, what is the difference between 79, actually that's the same thing really. What's the difference between 79 and 26? 9 minus 6 is 3. 7 minus 2 is 5. And then what you have to look at to make sure you have the right sign is which number is bigger. And that's the 79. The 79 is positive, therefore my answer must be positive. You go with the bigger numbers sign, the larger addends sign. Let's try that method again with this one. Now we're not going to be able to make any zero pairs because they're both negative. So if they're both negative, is your answer going to end up being positive? If you owe me $18 and then you borrow $67 more, you owe me a lot of dollars. So I'm just going to say 18 and 67. That adds together to be 18 plus 8 plus 7 is 15. And then 6 plus 1 is 8. But they're both negative, so you owe and you owe, and you owe a lot of money. You owe 85. That's a problem. You need to stop borrowing money. Okay, so that's it for us. These are for you to do. Good luck.